Hello, I am Todd Cotta. I'm running for the 32nd Assembly of California. It's a big district from Kings and Kern County. And this is Kalish Morrow, and she's running for the City of Hanford City Council. And we have some thoughts that we'd like to bring up today. And one of the things that's impacting Hanford so much is that train that's going behind us.
That might be interrupting our conversation right now. Sometimes it interrupts my sleep too, because I'm right next door to it.
You're right next to the train.
Yeah, just a block down the road.
We get about 36 trains a day in this town. I know because the King's Gun Center is on the tracks.
Yeah.
And somebody opens the doors while that train's coming through.
All
Oh
conversation
my goodness.
stops. You can't get past it.
But really, honestly, we're not talking about trains today. What we're talking about is the drug problem and the homeless problem in California. Because in my opinion, they're linked.
They are. I agree.
Homelessness in California, and our esteemed governor Newsom today put out there that we have the lowest unemployment rate in California, not because of what Washington is doing, but because of the great policies that he's putting out. Okay.
This is when my head starts hurting.
And he thinks that he is solving the homeless problem in the state when he's the one who caused the homeless problem in the state between him and Governor Brown in decriminalizing crime by raising the threshold, not allowing cops to arrest people, and then the ultimate decriminalization of narcotics in this state. Now, this young lady is the chairman for the Kings County Libertarian Party, and we know that there are some differences between how people approach the drug problem when it comes to libertarians and Republicans. But I'm not scared to have conversations with people and try and work through things. And we are not going to sit here and talk about slashing each other's throats.
No.
We're not going to scream at each other.
No.
But I do believe, and I think anybody that has anything between this year and this year can understand that the war on drugs was lost a long, long time ago.
Right, and I think that's where we can find some common ground with it too. I think that Republicans go more on the moral ground when it comes to drug use and whatnot. Where libertarians are a little bit more like, as long as you can do whatever you want to do to your own body, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. That means, if you want to go shoot up heroin, as taboo as that is, as long as you're not hurting somebody else, stealing other people's money so you can buy for that, or neglecting if you're a parent, neglecting your child, anything like that.
Sure.
I mean, we're going to the darkest side, but but as long as it doesn't hurt other people, like why should it bother me? And that's the libertarian approach with it. But
well, even with that, even when it comes to, you said, raising your children, the government wants to nanny state every child in the state to get them to be the how do I say this? The Wall, Pink Floyd. That's exactly what this state wants.
Right.
They want the kids in a factory.
Yeah.
And they want them to be pushed out as little liberals all day long. I homeschooled my two kids
Mine are homeschooled
all
as
the way
well.
up.
Yep.
And I have two of the greatest, smartest kids you can imagine. And my daughter is a huge pro-life advocate, and she's very in tune with what's going on in the country right now. It's something that, ask any high schooler over here about, I'm going to get the same response.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on, or Trump is bad, or I don't know. They just don't know what's going on.
Right.
And if you don't know what's going on with this country, and I'll tell you, my early history. In high school, I went to Boys State up in Sacramento. It's a political thing from the veterans here with the American Veterans nominated me to go to Boys State, and that's a big government conference.
Right.
Where and they had a girls' state and stuff, and that's where you actually make your own government, and you establish your own rules, and you establish your own hierarchy and your own leaders, and that was me in high school.
Yeah.
And I've been very attuned to it since I was young.
Right.
And now it's to a point where it's out of control. The government is out of control, and when they take away the limits of what people can do, but then they also take away ways to help them, it's a recipe for the homeless problem we're having today.
Right, and I think that's where we can find some common ground as far as the drug issues and whatnot. It is obviously a huge issue amongst our homeless population, and I think that a good approach to the drug issue is more of like what Portugal did. They instead of treating it drug users as criminals, they turn it into a health issue. Now here's your help, here's your rehab. Let us provide help for you to get through these hard times and to become a healthy person.
True, but at the same time, there used to be a hammer that if you got arrested for possession of dope or possession or under the influence, you would get deferred judgment in the courts. And that deferred judgment said that you have to go to rehab.
Which it sounds really similar, yeah.
And if you stay clean for 18 months, or whatever the duration was that the judge said, which was 12 to 18 months or whatever, they would expunge the conviction. They would just go away.
Yeah.
I saw so many people working as a deputy sheriff in Fresno, and I would do time in the courts. They were short some days. They'd send us to the courts, and we'd go. I'd sit in drug court watching these parties going on. People bringing cakes, and the social worker and the probation officer were standing there, 18 months clean, and the kids were reunited with their mothers. If we're gonna do it, there has to be some incentive. Because if you ask any one of these dopers on the street, do you want to get clean? They'll tell you no.
Right.
They don't. They don't have any. I was talking with an official from Kings County this week that told me you would not believe how much dog food social services is buying to feed the animals of the homeless people out there on 12th Avenue in Houston. Unbelievable amount of money that they're buying to feed animals. Now, that being said, I did get a survey from some animal rights group, and I couldn't turn it in because they are so far left and giving animals more rights than people that I can't support that.
Right. I think that, all about private enterprise coming in, nonprofits helping, and I think as a role of government, getting out of the way of those individuals wanting to help. They've made it illegal in some places where you can't set up and feed the homeless because you don't have a food permit. But just getting out of the way of them is so much more beneficial than us spending our tax dollars, which you give them $10 and $2 will go to the problem itself.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a problem that will not be an easy fix. But if you say that the homeless problem in this state is because homes are expensive in this state, that is deferring the argument from the real problem. Okay, mental health and drugs. And what I explain to people is, please tell me, how long have you lived in California?
All my life.
Your whole life.
Yep.
At what part of your whole life was homes affordable in California compared to other states?
Oh, we've always been more expensive.
But the homeless problem is not something that has been this blown up in the last few years.
Right.
So you have to look at the cause. What caused this great expansion that is 7 times greater than the rest of the nation, or 8 times greater? There was an overall increase in homelessness in America because California went up so fast.
Right.
Every other state's seeing it go down, but California is going up so fast. What is it? It's not homes, because homes have always been an obstacle in this state.
It's the unintended consequences.
Yes.
Anytime that they want to come in, and I say government, anytime government wants to come in and help a problem, a series of other problems then occurs. And that's why we need to take a step back and stop causing so many more problems. Mental health issues. That became more of a problem when Medicaid stepped in and started shutting down quality mental health agencies and the mental health facilities that would help house these people.
Sure.
It was Medicaid that killed that. And created this problem where now we've got chronic homeless on the streets with mental problems.
But even with that, when the state comes in to try and gerrymander medical and try and fix the problem, they make it worse.
Right.
The dialysis law that came in last year,
Oh yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
A company must make a profit or it cannot survive.
Yeah.
And if you're going to talk about that and turning it into a government agency, then the profit is going to be taken up in taxes and higher taxes.
Right.
So somewhere, somebody's going to pay for it.
Right.
It's the only way that this is going to... You got to allow companies to thrive and grow, not try and cripple them by governmentally handicapping them.
Right.
It's ridiculous what they're doing.
Well, and it you know, the minimum wage laws too. That as a business owner, you can definitely relate. The minimum wage.
I went to Wendy's in Fresno because my mom needed a hamburger. My dad just got out of the hospital, so she hadn't eaten all day, and I had to go up there and get her. She needed a hamburger. I got at Wendy's 2 hamburgers, 1 fry, and 1 soda. $16.
It used to be affordable. Fast food used to be affordable, and they keep racking it up.
Raising prices to offset minimum wage only hurts poor people.
Exactly.
Because people who have money can absorb it.
Right. And I would love to also expand on that with like a corporation like Walmart. You have to think that's really suspect when they all of a sudden step in and go, you know what? Yes, $15 minimum wage mandatory. We should do that.
Yep.
They're the ones that everybody wants to fight against.
Yeah.
They're the ones why there are so many laws and regulations, and why everybody's, you know, banging their fists against the corporations. But then it's a small business that gets the brunt of it.
Yeah.
And so when you've got a corporation like that going in and advertising or pushing, lobbying, it's what these companies do. They go and they lobby, or they contribute heavily to campaigns and get those special favors.
Yep.
And that's where those laws are coming from.
But it still cripples small business once that happens.
And that's why they're saying $15 an hour, because they can raise Top Ramen a couple cents and they can offset their costs. They have the volume to do
it, yeah.
For me, when I had my business and I knew, you know, I'd have to start offsetting costs, because it's not just employees.
No.
It was the cost of my product. The cost of my inventory too goes up.
Yep, fuel prices and the production, all goes up.
So now instead of, you know, just raising it by a couple cents, I have to raise it quarters, dollars, whatever.
And then now you just price it out of the market.
Yeah, and I was a luxury item. I had the soaking tub right here, and we handmade all of our products. So of course that you know, that quality and whatnot, and that lower volume means that my cost is going to be a little bit higher. Yep. And you know, I'm competing against places like Target that are selling them for way cheap, but they're crappy. They're crappy. My stuff was better. But you know, and that's what I was facing as a small business. Like, you know, just trying to stay ahead. My business wasn't increasing enough to offset that.
It wasn't.
And then my costs keep going up.
Yep.
And you know, what was I supposed to do? Every year it was going to keep going up, and I needed a good workforce. I needed people doing production, I needed marketing, I needed all this stuff, but here I am, like a one-woman show most of the time, and I couldn't make it happen.
As a final note, my goal in making California better, believe in a better California, is to make the economic situation so good in this state and thrive so much that it is a natural progression of wages that goes up.
Yes.
That's where I see wage increases, is making it a better state with more money flowing around so that more people can make more money.
And it works. Switzerland is one of those countries where they don't have a mandatory minimum wage.
Yes.
They have a suggested minimum wage. People confuse it all the time.
Okay.
So they have a suggested one. I want to say, last time I checked, it was like $21.
Oh, okay.
People are making well above that.
Yes.
Because their economy is where the government has stepped back and let their economy thrive. And people are thriving because of that.
Exactly.
Without any enforcement.
Well, there's lots of different ways that we can solve these issues in the state, and there's lots of different approaches, but the make government bigger and restrict the citizens and restrict business is not the way to do it.
No, we can see that.
It's the exact opposite way to do it. And I think that's something that we can definitely agree on.
Yes.
And I think that's something that a lot of our viewers and a lot of people in California wish would happen. Once again, this is Kalish Morrow. She's running for City Council in Hanford. My name is Todd Cotta, running for the 32nd Assembly in California, and we would love to get a chance to talk to you. You can always go to our websites. You can always take a look. Mine's at cottaforassembly.com. Do you have a campaign website? Mine
is being built right now, but you can find me on Facebook,
Yep.
Kalish Morrow for Hanford City Council.
Great, great. Hey guys, have a great day and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
God, this is just a great conversation, isn't it? It's just good.